Yes, Raccoon.
Of course, there was no sound, so nobody heard any of that amazing
Oh
audio content.
no.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to put it up. Well, I'll have to cut it out later and put it up on the Patreon.
Well, the streams are ruined now.
I know it's all right though. So, hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the Action Sturge. We have an amazing game for you tonight. We'll be playing some Dungeon World, which is an amazing system. It has been called a love letter to Dungeons and Dragons, and it's a really fun game. And we're pretty deep into a storyline here. If you are watching tonight and this is the first time you've ever seen anything that we've done, go check out our YouTube. And while you're at it, go check out our Twitter and follow us on there as well. So, and while you're at it, go check out dndwow.com as well. Yeah, because you can use our discount, the Action Sturge, at checkout to get a discount on some metal color changing dice with D&D WoW, and they're amazing. And we're probably gonna give away some more in a week or two, maybe next week. I don't know, Deacon. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And with that, let's just dive right into this. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves. Starting with the Deacon Smith, tell us who you are and what your. Oh, thanks, Plaster Dragon, for the subscription. You're awesome. And the Deacon Smith, tell us a little bit about Rook. Tell us who he is and what is the most important thing in the world to him right now.
Hello, everybody. I'm the Deacon Smith. Tonight I will be playing Rook. He's a halfling, a rogue thief, and well, he wants. Well, I don't even know what he wants at this point. He wants Harold back.
All right. Then we got the Plaster Dragon playing Tyrion. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about Tyrion, and then what's the most important thing in the world to Tyrion right now?
Yeah, what's up? Tyrion is a human cleric and a bit of a zealot, a cleric of Janrik, god of the downtrodden, and he also is very interested in bringing Harold back and showing that his path is the right one and that his gods are the right ones and that the prophecy is true and all of that stuff. He has drunk deeply of the Kool-Aid and needs for everybody else to believe and to see that he's right.
Very nice. Forkpuff, tell us a little bit about Harrison and what's the most important thing in the world to Harrison right now.
Hi, everybody. My name is Harrison. I will be playing the human bard. He's a very flamboyant and sassy guy. I think the most important thing to him, which Rook stole his answer as he does everything, is to get Harold back.
And Terry coming in with Aziz. Tell us a little bit about Aziz. And same question.
Well, my name is Terry. I am playing Aziz, the halfling druid. And the most important thing in the world, now that we've got vengeance for Harold, is to get him back and save the world from the evil he knows is coming.
And Mort Cake. Tell us a little bit about Harold. We have Horace up. We have Horace's name up on the screen, but I think you'll be playing some Harold tonight.
Hi, I'm Mordecake, and hopefully I'll get to play the human barbarian Harold again. I'm currently dead and rotting. Yeah, I don't know what else to say really. No, he's basically your generic Viking kind of person. Very hard-headed. Not that clever, so he kind of needs his friends here to help him out with that. Kind of why he's up there in wherever place he is. I think the most
Fixing the cameras. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yes, I am fixing the cameras.
I've been weaving to see if I'm still actually active on the cameras. Whee!
There we go. All right, everybody should be, unless you're incredibly still, you should be. And thank you, Neverlander. It's so good to see you, man. By the way, I'm excited to see you. So let's check in. So we'll check in with the group, I think, and then we'll check in with Harold, and then we'll see where we go from there. So so we'll check in with the group first. So you guys are in a tower. You got into the tower last time. You were able to kill Argoth the Unhinged, claim your trophy and his magic sword, and but now you're in the tower, and it is
Crimson.
surrounded by crimson. Yeah, it's surrounded by crimson blades. Now you have one advantage, which is that they can't really get up at the moment into where you're at in the tower, because there is there's a maelstrom in the center of the tower that was created by the druid, like a wind tunnel that is just ejecting people from the building. So you have that sort of cutting you off from an orthodox method of entry. Not to say that they won't come up with something creative if time allows. And with that, let's see.
At the very end last time, didn't Harold run off to check on something else? Because I remember I was going to ask Harrison. I was going to ask Harrison something, and it's like Harrison was like, "Oh," and just didn't you go to check?
Yeah. So Duncan went to go schmooze the fair maiden left and locked away in the bedroom, and I said, girl. So then I ran after, because I don't trust a young teenage boy and a young teenage girl in one room by themselves.
At least not without some proper guidance, right? Not without a helping hand.
So I went to go see what was going on there.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Looking for the best way out.
Would you like to I want to say assess the situation, but that is not the right game. I think
discern realities.
Discern realities.
I wouldn't mind giving that a go. Jerry, you want to do one too? Between the two of us, we should discern something.
Let's
I'm still seeing red with rage, so
I see.
Mark XP.
Oh, I've got a 10.
All right, mark XP and
have a complication.
Yes. So nothing will happen immediately.
I love those.
Yes. So so what are you looking at specifically, Tyrion?
So I'm looking at the forces that are arrayed against us here, the Crimson Blades that are preparing and trying to come up and get us, because those are their orders. And so I think one of the things that I want to know is what here is not what it appears to be. Probably a good one.
Okay. So so looking out onto the forces, they seem to be gathering themselves. There is somebody barking out orders, but you don't recognize them. They must have just been hastily promoted. And it looks like they like while there's a lot of Crimson Blades out here, it looks like they're this person who's in charge. While it's a lot of people, they look somewhat unorganized, which could be upon closer inspection. So.
Right. What here is useful or valuable to me? I mean, other than the obvious, they look unorganized.
So actually what you'll find is what is useful or valuable to you is actually not outside, but rather inside. As you if you turn, you can see that a smattering of papers has fallen to the floor during all the chaos. Parchments, and they appear to be signs of some communication between the people in charge here and perhaps with Stefan.
Have to give those a look-see once. Anyone have a strong feeling on what third thing I should ask?
I'm not sure, but does it look like the stream's kind of moving slowly for anybody else? Might just be on my end.
Let me see.
Seems normal.
Might just be on my end.
I haven't been paying attention though.
Yeah, I've been looking at notes and trying to figure out what to do, so I haven't been paying as close attention.
What questions did you ask again?
What's not what it appears to be, and what is useful or valuable. And so it appears that someone has been newly promoted and is in charge now, and we found some papers in the room.
What is
So
about to
maybe,
happen?
like, yeah, I was thinking that, or like who's really in control here.
All right. So maybe we go for what is about to happen and make the assumption that the newly promoted guy, and that since they're in disarray, the newly promoted guy is probably in control, maybe?
So what is about to happen? So it looks as though they are like watching out the window. You can't quite hear what they're saying. You can't hear them calling out to one another. They're going to make mention that the way up is blocked, and they are going to send for the wizard. They are also looks like they are gathering some light siege supplies as well, ladders and ropes and the like.
Send for the wizard part is much more worrying to me than the ladders or ropes. The ladders or ropes I think we could deal with reasonably.
Well, we need to get to the bottom of the tower as fast as
Yeah.
possible.
All right. Cool. All right, that's good for me. I think I'll look at the papers while someone else does whatever they want to do.
Yeah. What is Rook and Aziz doing?
What is is there any chandeliers or stairwell rails, or what's the aesthetics like?
Aesthetics wise, it's there's in this room in particular there are like side tables and stuff. For lighting, it looks like lighting is being done by like standing candelabras, like the standing candle things, candle holders. Look like they're the things providing light. There's some drapes, some like heavy drapes over the windows. And then there's like side tables pressed up against the walls, and there's just like they're stacked with like books and parchments and the like. And then the main table that was flipped over by the rhinoceros earlier is completely flipped over and probably broken as well.
Huh.
Aziz, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to find the best / quickest way down.
Okay.
I don't think going out through the front door is an option anymore. So
Okay. And then
like ropes or
yeah,
something to that effect.
the bandits are up here with you. They have some ropes that they use to scale the side of the building from the floor below. in fact, Tyrion, it looks as though the Crimson Blades were inspired by their example, and seem to be preparing to do the same thing or something similar. Harrison, you go up to the room with Zarthus' sister, and now Zarthus and Duncan as well. Duncan, when you get up there, Zarthus is freeing his sister from her shackles, and Duncan is looking out the window and sort of surveying as well. And Zarthus' sister is sort of like rubbing her wrists because they're all like sore from the shackles. And I think you had talked to her a little bit last time because she said oh, that's right, because you came in through the window, right? And she had said she had said I thought Harold would come save me.
Then I was like, surprise. Yeah, so I imagine I kind of like burst in the room dramatically because I forget that Zarthus totally went as well until just now. So I guess Harrison has the memory of a firefly. So okay. He bursts in and he's like, Duncan, don't you lay your... Oh, Zarthus, you're here. Thank goodness. We need to find a way out of this tower. Do you know anything about the... I was going to say the blueprints, but I don't know if that's what they have. Do you know anything about the architecture? Is there a zip line at the top? Can we jump down safely without breaking our bones?
Who are you asking?
Zarthus.
Oh, Zarthus. Zarthus turns grimly to you and says, unfortunately, I've never been in here before. And at that point, Duncan's going to turn from the window and says, guys, they're getting ready to scale the walls.
All right, Duncan, relax. We're finding a way out. Just stop whining. You're sounding too much like me. So I'm gonna, is this room like the top, like the tippy top? Or could I go to like the tippy top like of the tower and kind of see what's going on up top there?
Yeah, you could totally go to the tippy top. However, during this whole conversation, Zarthus' sister has been trying to talk, and everybody keeps interrupting her.
Yeah, I'm like, stop whining. She's like, can I? You're sounding too much like me. But then I'll be like, sorry, milady. What were you trying to say? These ruffians would not keep their mouths shut.
And she says, actually... And then you interrupt her again. Yeah, and she says, we could escape through the tunnels.
Oh, I was imagining a lot more dramatic entrance, but yeah, sure, we could go through the tunnels. Where are the tunnels?
But I heard, I overheard, Argoth telling the wizard to put one of his monsters in the tunnels.
Oh, listen here, young lady. I don't know if you know us well enough, but we took on a lindworm. We can handle anything. Oh my god, we had Harold back then, didn't we? the realization. Oh, we can handle it. It'll be fine.
She says, I remember.
That.
About the lindworm, yeah. And she starts singing some of your song.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And bravely bold, Harrison slew the lindworm.
Yes, exactly how it went. Harold provided a great distraction with his flaming pectorals.
Yeah, there's like a whole like stanza about his pecs.
Yeah. So I will once I know that, I'll look to Zarthus and I will say we have your aid then in this battle if we need you.
Look to Zarthus?
Yeah, Zarthus. I know Duncan's gonna be helping, so I just gotta make sure Zarthus ain't gonna like kill us on the way down there.
Yeah, Duncan's like trying to like be like Tyrion, and so he's like surveying the battlefield and like muttering strategies to himself and whatnot. Like he's
Yeah, I'm just that's nice. But Zarthus, so you'll be coming with us in the tunnels and you'll be helping us if we need you.
He says there's one problem with getting to the tunnels.
Is that the wind tunnel?
The wind tunnel.
Well,
Unless your druid friend feels as though they could handle the matter.
I could speak with him, but also...
Well, and even then, if we get past the wind tunnel, I'm sure that the Crimson Blades will be waiting down there for us.
You and Duncan have been spending way too much time together. Goodness! You guys are a bunch of Debbie Downers. Quit that! I'm gonna, like, snap my fingers in front of his eyes. You forget who you're talking to. Harrison the Grand, Harold the Great Author.
And he says...
Author?
And he's gonna like kind of shoot you a look, and he says, yes, and remind me what happened to Harold again.
I kick him in the nuts. No. No, I'll look crestfallen and I'll say,
He says, unlike you, I can't afford to die. These people need me. And he's gonna push past you, like he's gonna like shoulder check you and like sort of push past you, and head downstairs.
He knows not the power we possess. And I'll look to his sister and I'll say, is he always like that?
She kind of nervously follows him. She looks at you apologetically, but she goes with him. Duncan turns and says, well, that was kind of rude.
Yeah, what a prick. Jesus. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's go find our friends and let's inform them of our newfound knowledge. So I will go back to the room in which Aziz, Rook, and Tyrion are in.
Yeah, Zarthus is already down there, telling them what's going on. He goes down.
No, I'm gonna see what's going on since he's being such a jerk. I'm gonna sing over top of him.
So he's down there and he says, I think we have a way out, but it's going to take some...
We have a way out!
It's going to take some planning.
We're gonna need some planning.
There you are.
I suggest we use the bard as a decoy.
I suggest we hey.
I have need of your knowledge, my friend. Where did you run off to?
Oh, which one?
I was saying to Harrison.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? I was like looking at what I could be to be a distraction, genuinely.
I said that I had need of your knowledge.
Oh, what may I assist with?
I'm wondering if there's a way we can activate this sword. Do you want to take a look at it? Because if they see us holding the flaming sword and it lights up, I think that might send the requisite amount of fear into them and make them think twice about facing us. Especially if we're holding his head in our other hand.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I think I actually, because of the Bard College I went to, if I could find it, for the life of me, I can't though. It is Bardic lore. I have an area of expertise in spells and magics. So once I first encounter an important creature, location, or item covered by my Bardic lore, you can ask the GM any one question about it, and the GM will answer truthfully. Then they may ask me what tale, song, or legend I heard that information in. If that applies for this sword. I assume it's magical.
Yes, it is supposed to be magical. So so go ahead and ask your question. What are you trying to figure out about?
I believe Tyrion asked me how to activate it.
Oh, okay. So so I don't even know if you would necessarily need to roll for that. Actually, yeah. Actually, go ahead and do roll for that. Yeah.
What would you like me to roll? Spout lore?
Spout lore, yeah.
Okay, we can try that. We'll see how that goes. It can't go bad, right?
Oh, also, I've been meaning to remind you, if you didn't know, I don't know if you have a bag of books in your inventory, but if you ever do have like a bag of books, you can they come with a certain number of charges, and you can use one to add a +1 to a spout lore roll. Whenever
I'm gonna
you
start collecting books from now on. What
yeah.
the hell?
I'm
I
going on the
was
limb
not
and
informed of this, but thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome,
will
yeah.
do that. I don't even care if
I'm
it's
gonna go
like
out
kids'
on.
books with pictures. Like,
So would
I'm
that
assuming
book
this is
from
not
the
something any
Elven Temple help?
Well, it's a specific. It's like the adventurers pack or whatever. Or the adventurers bag or whatever. It's like one of those things. So spout lore.
7.
So yeah,
So
7?
the GM will only tell you something interesting, but it's on me to make it useful.
Okay. When you see the blade, that is supposed to be the legendary, flaming blade of yore. It's a little underwhelming to say the least. It looks, I mean, it's ornate, but it looks fairly common, fairly normal. And you know that such blades are normally activated with a like a word, sometimes a motion, sometimes both at once.
Okay. So, I'll be looking it over, and then I'll go abracadabra, and I'll like stab it out, and then nothing will probably happen. I'm assuming.
Yeah, Duncan will jump back. Ah!
All right, that's all I've got. I know there's probably a motto or a phrase or a chant or a ritual or whatever, a jingle, whatever you wish to call it. But I'm sure it can be activated with the use of a word and perhaps a motion as well. But I don't know what that would be for this sword, considering it's so legendary. It could be anything.
Was it something one of us could have noticed or possibly remember from when he activated the sword in this room?
Oh yeah, or like when he activated it before.
I don't think any of us were there before.
Harry, you weren't at the arena when he confronted Harold?
No, that's why Harold fell. He was by himself.
I believe he did activate the sword in the room though.
Any chance any of us remember or noticed?
I'll let somebody make a discern realities check, and then if somebody wanted to help them, they can, by using the aid move, I believe.
You want to discern and I'll aid you, Terry?
Sounds like a plan. I was right in his face.
I was successful at aiding.
Yes. So you both put together the motion and the word. One of you remembers the word, and one of you kind of like figures out the motion. Harrison, while this is going on, are you the one holding the blade, sort of acting out what they're suggesting, or?
Yes, but I'm being like extra theatrical about it.
And so the word is vengeance, and the motion seems to be like a circular motion with the hilt in front of the chest. And once that sort of does that, the blade catches flame, and is quite dangerous to wield. So yeah, so you say the word and then do the motion and then boosh.
Yeah, I'll go like the Attack on Titan bridge, like vengeance, and then like I'll swirl my little sword and whoosh. And now I'm scared. Oh my god, somebody take it from me. I don't want to live. It's
yeah, it's like flames everywhere, like coming out at you. It's quite scary.
We think that Harrison can hold it safely, like, for a performance, if the need arose. Like, if we wanted to try to persuade some, or would it be better for one of our more militaristic characters?
I mean, if you think I can be intimidating with it, I bet anybody with a flaming sword could be intimidating.
Or maybe Terry or I could hold it, and strike the intimidating pose. Like one of us has his head, one of us has the sword, and then you do the persuading.
I'm sorry, but what if we make the ostrich hold the flaming sword?
Zarthus is gonna cut you a look, and he says,
Don't even.
Harrison, this is serious.
I'm serious. Have you seen the ostrich? It's terrifying.
And yeah, and Zarthus is like constantly checking the window and like checking on the progress of the Crimson Blades, and he's Duncan though is going to step up to Harrison's side and say, looks like he wants to say something, but he's not going to say anything yet.
I'll give him a supportive, like a little pat on the middle of his back, and it's okay. I can handle myself. I'm used to it. But fuck this guy, am I right?
The Crimson Blades that are climbing, are they using ladders or grappling hooks?
It looks like it's going to be a combination of both. They haven't. They're still making preparations.
Okay.
Yeah, but it looks like they're covering like there's archers preparing on the ground to cover the windows, and then it looks as though they're using a combination of grappling hooks and ladders.
I'll use a combination of like tables and flaming sword to, block the arrows and light whatever they're leaning against or grappling with on fire, and slow whatever progress while we try to figure out how to get away.
Okay.
Now,
no, go ahead.
A quick question for you, John, on one of my spells. Speak with Dead says that a corpse converses with you briefly and will answer any 3 questions you pose to it to the best of the knowledge it had in life and the knowledge it gained in death. Does that mean to me that it will answer truthfully if it can?
I believe so, yeah.
So I could have a conversation with the head?
I believe so, yeah.
Do we want to ask our unhinged friend about the monster that he left for us in the basement?
Yes, and possibly any secret passages or other ways down.
All right. Do we want to do that next, or do we want to figure out a way past the wind tunnel first?
Well, any secret passage would be...
Do that next.
All right. I'm going to attempt.
I'm going to take over slowing their progress climbing.
All right. Hand
Okay.
off the sword.
Okay, so for that, give me roll a defend for me.
Yeah, are they starting to scale the walls as well?
Yes, they will now have started to scale the walls.
May I also do something as well on one of them? Let's do it.
Aziz is going for level 10.
Yeah, he is. Holy shit.
Can I try and do something then?
You wanted to aid, or did you want to?
I wanted to do the it goes to 11 move, my advanced move.
Okay.
When I unleash a crazed performance, I can choose a target who can hear me, and if I roll high enough, they attack their nearest ally. On a 7 through 9, they attack their nearest ally, but you also draw their attention and ire.
Okay. Who did you want to do that on?
Yeah, so I'm gonna stand in the windowsill, and I will ready my loot and do one of those things from the Road to El Dorado, and just choose one of the guys scaling the wall, like probably the one that's closest, like coming, like getting up, like leading the way, I guess.
Okay. Very nice. So the thing for both of you so the thing about moving into the window is that the archers have trained their arrows on anybody trying to defend from the windows. So I need you to how are you going to avoid the incoming arrows?
I parlay with the arrow. No, I'm kidding. I think, I guess what I would be doing.
Or what would you do as Harrison? Like in the fiction, I guess.
Dude, in the fiction, ain't no arrow gonna stop my performance. So I'd probably just like, I would probably just keep playing, but like try to like duck out of the way and stuff. So I guess it would be like a dexterity one.
Okay, so like bob and weave.
Arrows are sticking in your loot.
Tong. And then Terry, for my move on your 6, I have made another move off screen.
Okay, so I got a 9. So I stumble, hesitate, or flinch.
Okay.
So you have to offer me a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice.
Yeah. So so your song is going to work. The person is going to attack one another. Basically, the guy holding the ladder is going to start like shaking the ladder and like peel the guy off the wall. Of course, that ladder is then replaced by 2 more ladders like on opposite sides of the tower. But that guy directly beneath you is cool. The arrows coming at you are going to you're going to be sort of bobbing and weaving them, and you're going to be doing a fantastic job. However, one misstep, and suddenly you're falling out the window, holding on only by the drapes that are hanging in the window.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh yeah, kill your friend.
And then now you are falling out the window, hanging on by the drapes.
Help! Help!
And with that, let's
Did I also need to do the defy danger?
Oh, to get up and defend? No, I was gonna have that be sort of your defend. I was gonna wrap that into the defend move.
Okay.
And then with that, let's check in on Harold, someone we have not seen in quite some time. So Harold, when the light faded, you heard the sounds of the meat hall, beckoning you to the afterlife. When your eyes open, however, you hear you feel the crisp air. You feel crisp air. Almost like a cold, dewy air, and everything is very much quiet. You look up and you see the blue sky, and you feel something on your chest. What do you do?
I look down at it.
Sitting upon your chest is a squirrel holding an acorn.
I look rather confused, and I try and look around, see my surroundings.
The squirrel is going to dart off of your chest and begin running away from you.
Well, this doesn't seem right. I used to call out to anyone, like, hello? Anyone?
Okay. As you call out, you hear footsteps approaching you in the grass.
Harrison? Aziz? Durian?
And you'll hear a woman's
Brooke?
voice, and she. Have you gotten up yet? Or are you still laying flat on your back?
I think I'm sitting at this point.
Okay. So as you sit up, you'll see the squirrel has run over to this lady, and she's dressed She's very tall and she's dressed all in black. She kind of looks like what was that? Was it Thor Ragnarok? She kind of looks like Thor's sister. Was it Hela?
Oh, Hela?
Yeah. She kind of looks like that, but maybe like kinder. And the squirrel has run over to her and is climbed up her body and has perched itself on her shoulder, and she says, Harold, your friends aren't here.
And who are you?
She smiles and instead she says, why aren't you at the mead hall with the others?
I think this is when realization hits him. I don't know. I think I have an answer to that. Where is this? If not Odin's Hall.
And she says, this is somewhere in between.
But I was leading combat. I should be there. Why am I here?
Perhaps it's because you would rather be here. And she says, will you walk with me?
Sure. Yeah. I stand up and I start walking with her.
Okay. I think that's a scarier Hela, a fun Hela. So when you get up, you look around and if there was like a huntsman's paradise, like this totally looks like it. There's some like lush forests in the distance. There's like an open field here. The weather is like just perfect. There's you see some animals in the distance, like some fucking deer, I guess, some deer. But like everyone is a goddamn prize, like a prize for a hunt. So there's something just kind of unreal about this whole thing. But as you walk with her, she will ask you, tell me about your fall.
Well, still pisses me off. I was protecting someone that I don't particularly like from this asshole with the flaming blade. That was aggravating me before. And now, well, aggravating or hurting, bullying, this bod. I didn't react in time. And when I cut to it properly, it was too late.
And she's going to turn and look you. Her expression goes a little cold, and she's going to look you in the eye, and she says, "Tell me, Harold, did you deserve to die?"
I would say no.
And she says, "If you could go back, would you?"
Immediately.
And then she says, "I believe that is why you're not at the mead hall."
You're probably right.
and she's going to continue walking again. But now she'll ask you. Why would you want to go back? Do you not feel as though the weight of life has been lifted from your shoulders?
No, I left the same weight there. I did not clear it. Someone else will have to pick that up, or it will just get worse. I did not do what I needed to do. I didn't fix anything. I left it there.
And she chuckles and she says, "Not everyone gets the luxury to fix the world."
No, but I got the chance and I fucked it.
And she'll laugh again and she'll say, "What makes you think that if you went back, anything would be different?"
It just has to be.
And during this conversation with her, you realize that she has walked you to the edge of a vast lake, and there's a mist upon the lake, and as she approaches the water, she does not slow her gait at all. When she steps onto the water, these flat stones rise up from the bottom of the lake and catch her footfalls, creating a path out into the water, out into the mist.
I stand at the edge of the water, like, yeah, I can't, and I try taking like a baby step out in the water, like see if something will catch it.
Yeah, and sure enough, a stone will rise.
All right. I try and keep up pace with her.
Okay. She says, "What you've done and what is happening here is highly irregular. This does not happen, perhaps ever."
I don't mean to cause more trouble for the gods and you, but with the burden of what I feel is my duty, I cannot say that I'm sorry.
And she if you're walking alongside her now, you can see that she smiles as if she's in on some joke that you're not in on. And she says, or maybe she doesn't say anything, but she just kind of like maybe chuckles to herself.
Where are you taking me, by the way?
And she says, "I am not sure as to what your next course of action shall be. Only you can decide that. However, you need not decide alone." And as she says that, you guys have walked into the mist, and as you come through the other side of the mist, you are in a small, or maybe it's small, it's very misty. You can only see probably like maybe 100 feet in front of you. And as you come through, you come to a small island in this lake, and there is a flat, like a flat stone, like a large flat stone table, made of roughly cut stones, and then there's like stumps, like wooden stumps around this table. 3 of these stumps are filled, and towards one end of the table, and she says, "It's no meat hall, but it should do for now." And she goes to walk away, and she says, I will retrieve you when your time has come. And she goes to walk away, and you see as she turns, the squirrel sort of turns and watches you as she carries it back through the mist.
Well, that's ominous.
Oh, Harold, how I missed you.
I turn around to look at the table, and I go and sit down.
Okay. Seated at the table are 3 people. One is a very large and powerful woman. She is her eyes are cold and calculating, and her smile is more akin to a snarl. There is a man at the table. He's dressed probably out of the 3. He's probably dressed the most elaborately. He has an elaborate sort of fur on, and then like a cloak with a couple different colors on it. And then the 3rd one is another man who is dressed dressed in many colors as well, but these colors are faded, and his clothes are full of holes, and he has many odd things around his belt, pouches and bottles, and his fingers seem to be stained with some sort of smudged like black substance, and his eyes are glazed over a bit, perhaps a little glazed, like not drunk, but his pupils are maybe a little wider than, or like a little larger than normal. And he kind of has just a wide look on his face, like, yeah. So when you approach the table, how do you approach?
I approach pretty casually, I would say, honestly. Just sit down, like, okay, hi, I'm Harold.
Now, does Harold recognize any of the 3 people?
I don't think you will.
Okay.
I don't think you will.
Okay. So the one who is dressed in the finest, the fur and the bright colors, he will be the first to speak, and he'll say, Harold has come to join us and grace us with his presence. Have a seat, my lad.
Thank you.
The name's Grim.
All right, Harold. And I nod at him.
And the lady kind of shoulder checks you a little bit, and she just to see like how balanced you are, and she says, like, how do you respond to that?
If shoulder checks me, I'll shoulder check her back.
Okay. She'll give a haughty ha. Well, at least he's got some spirit. And then she introduces herself as Thorun. Thorun, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Thorun. Yeah.
Thorun. And then I'm gonna say Heovard. Heovard.
Yeah, I would say Hjorvard, but yeah, you can.
Heovard. I get to learn something too today.
Hjorvard, yeah.
Hjorvard. All right, so I'll bastardize it with my English. And so he won't say much. He just kind of watches you with this intensity that can only be described as a fanatic, perhaps. So he's just watching you. Grim will actually introduce him, and he'll say, this is Herovard, and but I suppose you're thirsty, aren't you?
A bit, yeah. Not only for drink, but for knowledge, honestly. Why are we here? Why are you free here?
And he kind of gives you this look, like he's a little impressed, and he says, ah, and just because you wanted knowledge as well as drink, and he says, well, you better drink up first. Death has an everlasting parching effect. Don't let your cup stay empty too long.
I'll take that to heart. Yeah.
And he says that he will explain everything. And then I'll jump back over to the tower and see what they're making of their situation. So Harrison is falling out the window. Arrows are still raining down. What are Rook, Tyrion, and Aziz doing?
What are
I'm trying to get Harrison back in.
What are Zarthus and the rest of the bandits doing while this is going on?
I think they have Zarthus is pulling them back away from the windows, and having them set up sort of away from the windows to attack anybody who tries to come through the window, but safely out of range of the arrows. Aziz, Aziz, you said you're going for Harrison?
Yes, I was right there beside him, so I'm gonna try to get him back in.
Okay. So so how do we want to do this? Perhaps, so I mean, you'll obviously try to reach out and pull him back in. Arrows are still raining down. Let's do a. Well, so let's yeah, I'll let you just reach back out and sort of and grab him and try to help pull him back in. Harrison, what are you going to try to be doing? I guess you'll try to be pulling yourself back in.
Yeah. I don't know if that could be like an aid in a way, as well as I'm trying to I'm falling back, but I'm trying to like lean forward so I can fall back into the tower.
Yeah. So let's have a defy danger from Harrison, and then with an aid from Aziz.
Is there anything big enough in the room that I can use to block some portion of the window while he's trying to pull Harrison up the bottom part?
Yeah, there's
like a table or
yeah, there are tables in the room. Yeah.
Can I try to block some of the arrows coming at Aziz while he's trying to pull Harrison in?
I don't think it'll like quite help, because I don't think you'll be able to get in front of him necessarily while he's pulling Harrison through.
All right.
So
then I'm gonna just run over and be prepared to, and I'm gonna just like start healing whoever. I'm assuming Harrison is going to be bleeding as he comes in, and I'm just going to shield Harrison as best I can once he's in and heal him.
all right, so Harrison rolled a 4 and Aziz rolled a 7.
Oh, fuck.
So Harrison, so you tried to pull yourself, you grab onto Aziz's hand. You guys are both trying to like pull you back in, and I'd say that like while you've got him in one hand, and you have the curtain in the other, the curtain rips and pulls loose, and you go flinging out the window. Aziz, this is going to pull you forward out the window as well. So now you're exposed to the arrow fire, but you're also kind of hanging out the window now as well. And Harrison, I think, is basically at this point falling out the window.
I imagine that like the curtain like tore or something or fell off, and then I went flying back, and then Aziz grabbed the curtain and is kind of like halfway hanging out the window, and I'm just like holding on for dear life to like the curtain, like ah.
Okay, yeah. So that works as well. So Aziz is now sort of hanging out the window as well, and exposed to the arrow fire, All
right. I may have to change my action then.
How so?
Well, if Aziz is hanging out the window and hanging onto a curtain that Harrison is now hanging from, I don't know that Harrison may be around for me to heal if I don't do something else. So, I'm going to shout to the Zarthus and the bandits who are like hanging back, and I'm going to say, get over here and help if you want to make it out of here alive. You won't get out of here without us. And I'm going to grab onto Aziz and just try and brute force, I run over, grab him, and lever myself against the window and try and just manhandle the two of them back in through the window. Maybe all of us can just fall out.
Take the quick way down.
If the dice are unkind enough.
So this is I think this is a pretty dangerous situation. Let's do defy danger with strength, and you can see if you can power through the danger here.
All right. Nope. We all gonna die.
So,
Yo, y'all looking to join me in the afterlife, or?
Yeah, maybe your friends will be there. Maybe that's why there's more than one seat at the table there.
It's too much to pull back in. I'm like, oh.
But what's gonna happen is, once you like go to the window, an onslaught of arrows has been released, and I think you're going to get hit with some of these arrows. Okay, so let's see. So don't be afraid of, well, be afraid, but not of how many dice I'm rolling. Okay, so it'll be 8 damage plus 3, so 11 damage. As 4 arrows come sailing through the window, and some of them, like one of them is going to hit you square on, then the others might sort of glance around you, but the cumulative effect will be the 11 damage. And it's effectively going to stop you from getting to, or maybe it won't stop you. Maybe you'll be able to grab onto Aziz, but now you're basically like taking fire while you're holding onto Aziz.
Right. Are the bandits moving, or are they still just staying where they are?
Zarthus is going to order one of them to run up and pull you back, and then whether or not that pulls them back up. Yeah, I guess that could pull them back up. Yeah, so he'll order them to run up to you and pull you away from the window as you hold on to the cloth. Or to Aziz, it'll pull Aziz back in, but Harrison is still hanging outside.
Help me!
And
Working on it.
and Rook, did you want to do anything?
Well, I was just kind of hugging the wall by the window, looking, for anybody coming through. But I don't know. Do y'all want some? You want me to try to help, or do you got it?
Help would be good.
All right, I will make my way over and grab the guy that Zartha sent over to anchor him.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So go ahead and give me an aid.
All right. Boom.
Okay. All right. So Harrison, you're hanging out the window, by the drape. You can hear them calling to fire again. Like arrows are about to be notched and let go. What do you do?
Pulls a whole string of people out the window.
I would like to cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
If I may.
Okay. Ah, very nice.
All right, so I am invisible. So I imagine, I mean, they're gonna shoot, but like I'm gonna turn invisible and like shimmy maybe up a little bit, and then that way like they're like, oh shoot, now where do we freaking fire? So maybe it'll be harder for them to fire now that I'm invisible.
Okay. Yeah. So you turn invisible, and then you're gonna hear them say, "Hold your fire! Go check the ground below the window. See where the jester fell."
And I'll be like, Jester? No, I'm kidding.
Is Aziz hanging out the window?
No, Aziz is back in, and at this point they'll be able to pull the thing back through the window. And Rook, what's gonna happen to you? Your danger or cost is that when they pull Harrison back through the window, he's gonna come. Like everybody's gonna pull at once, and he's gonna come flying through the window. Of course, nobody will be able to see him, and then everybody's gonna sort of fall back on each other, and you're just gonna be at the bottom of the dog pile. And I think something of yours is going to break in your inventory.
Get off me!
Poison, not the poison, God, not the poison.
I've only
already used that.
No, I've got one use up.
Oh, of his other poison, right?
No, not the poison.
All right, what breaks? Hit me.
Let's see. So your bow is already broken, I believe. I'm gonna say you, as you fall back, you break a bundle of your arrows and go ahead and lose an ammunition.
Is that uses or quantity?
Uses.
Okay. All right.
So you're back in the room. Everybody's back in safe. Well, actually, so what happens when you guys pull the thing back in? There's no Harrison. What do you guys do? I guess Aziz is closest to the front. Aziz and Tyrion. Yeah, no Harrison.
I thought he fell on us.
Harrison. Well, he's invisible.
Yeah, but I still feel somebody on top of me.
Okay.
I know that Harrison can turn invisible, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he's done it before.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a close one. And I'm gonna get up and dust myself off, yet I cannot be seen.
Is that a dagger in your pocket, or are we just having to see?
Well, I don't think. Well,
Did you have a dagger
you
on me
can
in the
see
night, Jon Snow?
you can see me. I'm blushing, like
But and we can see the blush.
the blush is evident. Well, that bought us like little to no time, so I guess we'll have to go to the tunnels.
Anybody hurt other than me?
I don't
Nope,
think
I'm
so.
good.
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna go
Well,
ahead
did that
and
buy
heal
us some
myself then.
time too, or not?
Did you do what now?
Did that buy us time or not?
A little bit, but basically, they're just kind of like hitting from every angle at this point.
Well, I will hug the wall by the nearest window for a surprise attack
Okay,
if anyone comes through.
okay.
I'm gonna
So the bandits
I'm gonna
are
heal myself.
okay. Go ahead. And then the bandits are sort of watching over the window, and they have limited supply, like limited like arrows and stuff. But if somebody comes up to the window, they'll fire off and then like shoot them out of the window for the time being. But they do have limited supply of arrows. So that was an 8. What will you choose for your effect?
Oh, some more unwelcome attention or putting myself in a spot, because what the hell? We aren't in enough trouble yet.
Okay. So some unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot. So let's see. Unwelcome attention. I'll have to think on that for a second. I'm kind of having trouble thinking of something for that right at the moment.
We're getting so much unwelcome attention. You're having trouble finding a
Yeah,
new
more unwelcome attention. um,
And then when there's a spare moment, I'd like to talk to
oh, you know what? Perhaps
Agatha's head.
out of the corner of your eye, you can see that when you cast the spell, the sigil on the other cleric's around the other cleric's neck is going to react to it.
Ooh. Don't like that.
And then you're going to try to talk to Argoth's head.
Yeah, I think we need to get out of here. So,
Okay. Go ahead, talk away.
Harrison, can you use your art to try and aid me here?
Of course, my friend. I will use my arcane art. What was the effect you wanted?
I'm going to cast a spell to speak to Argoth's head.
Okay, so my arcane art, if somebody aids you with it, they would get a +2 instead of a +1. Otherwise, it's I can do a D damage or D4 to damage.
So you probably can't help then because it's casting a spell.
Yeah, let me see.
All right. Well, I've got a partial anyway, and so I will go ahead and just lose the spell, and we'll say that I'm just really taxing my magical reserves here, and so my spells are just dropping off, and this is the only corpse I can speak to until I've communed with Jenric.
Okay.
So we get 3 questions on Argoth's severed head.
Yes, his eyes open. His eyes are like completely red, and his pupils are this like dark black abyss, and his skin has turned all like dark and necrotic, like as if it's like rotted from the inside out, and his but he awaits your questions.
Apologies for disturbing your slumber, but we do have need of information from you. The first thing we need to know is, are there any other exits from here, like secret passages or things of that nature, that we may take other than the main way out?
The tunnels in the cellar, hidden beneath boxes of flour.
So there's no way to get to the tunnels but there, so we're still going to have to get a way past the wind tunnel. And I understand that you've left a creature for us to fight. What is it that you have left for us to bar our way in the tunnel?
The wizard calls it the spider.
All right, we get one more question. What else do we want to know? Do we want to find out if this thing has any weaknesses or if there is some way by it? Or do we want to try and get information about the larger game?
Did you say some way by it?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I could ask what Stefan is planning. I could ask, how do we get past the spider? Or
There should be a way to get past the spider. I mean, I don't think he'd put it down there without a way for him to get by.
how do we get past the spider without fighting it? Or how are you going to get past the spider or something like that? How do we phrase this so that he doesn't screw us?
I guess just ask how he was going to get past the spider.
How would you get past the spider without having the wizard with you?
And he's yeah, he says I wouldn't. Not without the wizard.
All right. So I guess we're gonna have to F up a spider.
And then his eyes close, and it looks as though he has fallen asleep.
All right. That's all I got. So we need to get past the wind tunnel and then get down to the basement and under the things of flour. And in all likelihood, the wizard will probably be waiting for us on the other side if we don't go quickly enough.
And at that moment, there you can hear a ruckus from the upstairs chamber. As Sarthis will send some of his men to investigate it.
Balls.
Just seal the door and let's go.
Zarthis looks at you and he says, "Are you ready?"
Go.
And he nods to his bandits, and they start sliding a table over to the door to bar it. Meanwhile, you can see a hook has come up over the edge of the window. Rook, what would you like to do with that hook?
I will wait till he gets his head in the window, and I will stab it in the throat.
Okay, so that just happens, and then As he falls back, another person comes to take his place, and they just seem to be coming in mass now. Like they're not trying necessarily to get stabbed, but but they'll they're sort of tentatively like jabbing their blades through the like testing through the window and stuff. But they are coming. And where are you guys headed?
Downstairs.
I think I'm gonna go Rhino again and try
There you go.
over through the wind tunnel.
That'll help with the maelstrom.
Okay. Now, when you go downstairs to the where the wind tunnel is, you could you could get your people across the wind tunnel. But you would have to leave behind the others. Unless you wanted to get a ferry sort of system going back and forth, but there's that would take a little bit of time.
We should leave the bandits up there anyway for the oncoming.
Yeah, I don't want to leave people behind. Could they rope off to me or something like that?
What does the layout of this area look like? I mean, it's like we got the stairs down that goes to the wind tunnel area. Like, is there like any way we could rappel down on the other side of where the wind tunnel is, or is it like closed off and then a hallway? I just don't have a good visual.
Let me see if I can draw something real quick.
All right. In the meantime, I'm going to like tie off Argoth's head to my belt, like to my waist, so that it's just like sitting there, hideously staring at anyone that faces me.
No, of course, no, it won't do the thing.
And if you go wild shape, I'll hang on to the sword while you're wild shaping and do rear guard or something like that. Try and fend off anybody that comes at us from behind with fire.
Yeah, I think like what we're probably just going to need to end up doing is just we need to like get rid of the wind tunnel and just book it and then just deal with what we got to deal with.
No guarantee I can get rid of the wind tunnel.
Well, there's that, but you can try. And like, hey, if worst comes to worst, we can just lure the spider out and there will be plenty of food for him to choose from.
So, so I don't know if you can see on the map, but I've just drawn like there's the stairs that are coming down, and then there's stairs on the other side of the hallway. Basically, the wind tunnel is the entire hallway.
Makes sense. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
That's nice.
Thank you.
I could try a guidance. I still have like that spell left where I could ask
What is that?
Janrik.
Right. Oh, the stairs?
Yeah, there's stairs here, and then there's stairs here. These are the stairs you'll be coming down. The wind is blowing this way, and then and it's also ejecting people out of the tower. So it's like a 2-story fall, I think, from there, and then it's originating sort of towards the end of the other hallway here.
Yeah, I guess what we would need to do is probably, if possible, get the wind tunnel down. And then after that, we'll just need to book it into the tunnel. If we have people follow us, that's great because the spider can choose plenty of people to eat rather than just us.
Right.
Or, since I'm still invisible, I can go in there, poke it, and lure it out. Y'all try to, like, shimmy some time. Or shimmy. You guys, like, try to parlay, like, act like you're gonna surrender or something. I go in there and poke it, and then I start booking it. What do y'all think of that? If we can get the wind tunnel down.
I'm gonna cast guidance and basically like think to Janrik. I'll basically look at Terry and look at the wind tunnel and basically be thinking our two plans are dispel the wind tunnel and use the Terry Ferry service.
And as far as
And
the bandits roping off to you, Aziz, I would allow that, but you'll take a penalty to the roll. Since it's more mass, you have to drag with like more resistance to the wind.
did
Understood.
you do an elephant?
Well, I don't think the hallway's big enough for an elephant.
Not made with elephants in mind.
Few things are.
Okay, well, so I'm gonna try to do the rhino, because whether the wind tunnel stops or not, the rhino form will be helpful. And then I'm gonna try elemental mastery and try to. We'll see what happens.
All right, so do the. So are you doing one before the other?
Yes,
Okay, which one first?
shapeshifter.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, you got that down. you are rhino. You are rhino expert.
And with that, I am taking +1 to strength.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Is there any way I can find a way to aid this to at least give it a +1?
I don't know if there is.
What did the guidance do?
The guidance? Oh, push to talk.
I'm muted. Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to do it.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna. I mean, I still can.
Well, I think we're gonna cut away real quick on that terrible note. I think we'll cut away and we'll go back to Harold in the afterlife real quick. we'll check. We'll leave that on a little cliffhanger.
This ain't going so well. Let's go to the dead zone for a minute.
Yeah. So we'll cut back in on Harold and Grim and Thorin are having a escalating argument over the over some detail of a story that Grim was telling, and trying to explain like he was trying to make some point that got lost in like a myriad of details, and now she is like has slammed her cup down, and she says you use every word under the sun to say nothing, old man. And he says well, at least I know more than 3 words. And they seem to be having this intense argument, and it's going on. Hirvard is just kind of watching. Like he has not taken his eyes off of you, and it's become unsettling.
Without knowing like the actual context of who these people are, he's just like, this is the worst family reunion.
And so what do you do?
I look between the two of them arguing, and I try and cut in like kind of politely, like excuse me, pardon, a word.
So these sort of half-hearted attempts don't seem to pierce their argument. They are too too viciously going at one another.
I sigh heavily, and I use metal hurling to just scream extremely loudly.
At this point, they'll both like wide-eyed like turn to you, and Hirvard will sort of give a little like clap, like a little applause, and Grim will sort of adjust himself in his seat, and he'll say, yes, yes. Where was I?
Well, you were yammering, and well, then you started yammering as well about nothing. I do appreciate the story, but still, I want answers. Who
Oh,
are you?
yes. And he looks around the table and he says, "We are your ancestors."
Right.
Each of us has played a role in the Hellstrom legacy. Some more important than others, but we all have experiences, I suppose you could say, to bring to this table. And you are at a place where the path forks for you. And I believe that well, whoever she is, I believe that she wants us to help you.
So you don't know who she is either? I don't remember any god described as her.
And Grim says, I admit I have never seen her before. There's something different about her. I don't think she's from our pantheon.
Really wish I could call up Tyrion right about now.
Would you like to use a lifeline? Would you like to phone a friend?
Can I have a 50-50, please? I mean, asking the audience won't do any help.
Yeah, right.
By audience, I don't mean the chat. I literally mean the three ancestors I have right here.
Good save.
I look to Grim, and so, how do you think you'll best help me, if that is what you believe you're here for?
Well, I suppose we could start by discussing what it is you're trying to do, besides defy the norms of life and death.
I want to free our people. That is my highest wish. I want them to be able to thrive. By their own measures, of course, but I want them to at least have the chance for it. To give them the best chance possible.
And he says, he says, freedom. And, he says, but what is freedom, really? Just because they live under a tyrant, are your people not free? Or is there a degree of freedom you wish you seek beyond what they currently have now? Were you not free to leave your lands and travel across the sea to find conquest elsewhere?
Free is a very loose term in what you're describing. If I was caught, I'd be killed because I was a traitor. Would I not?
And yet you managed anyway. At this point, Thurn will butt in, and she'll say, "What does it matter anyway? We all die in the end. None of us are free from the bonds of life, whether our lives are miserable or pleasurable. Take the pleasure when you can get it. Endure the miserable while you can."
I appreciate that, but that's really not helpful, Warren. Like, I'm trying to get a practical solution here.
And Grim kind of like strokes his beard, and he says, "Obviously, you're from you're tied to my lineage, the strongest. You seem to have a rational mind."
I would say, as many people have, it's just simple. There are problem, we fix it.
Ah, but these things you speak of are not so simple. What you see as freedom may mean oppression or catastrophe for someone else. To overthrow a tyrant is to invite anarchy and chaos into a system. Unless, of course, you are thinking of taking the tyrant's place and installing your own sense of order.
Well, you kinda hit it right on the head. At least until someone better arrives.
And he gives you like a smile, like he's like, and he says, um, yes, the outlook of someone who has not tasted true power. And once you have, I doubt you'll be willing to give it up so easily.
I've held a giant by the balls. I think I know kind of true power.
And I have advised 3 Jarls, when I was alive, of course. And I have
That is kind of
overseen,
impressive.
many a functional and free kingdom, as free as it can be from any extra suffering brought about by its leaders.
Alright, we'll call the draw.
At this point, Hervard will kind of butt in, and he will say, he'll say, "It's funny. You seem to think that you have a choice in the matter at all. I can see the ties that bind you as clear as day. You do not act of your own accord. You are driven purely by the will of the gods. Fate draws you in. That is why you will return."
Then why did the gods send me to the afterlife in the first place?
We are the playthings of gods. To question their motives is to stare into the abyss.
But our gods, at least, are very much like us. They are people, even though very powerful. But they still walk among us.
Grim says, that lady is not of our gods. I do not know where she comes from, and yet she seems to have power here. Power over you.
I really want to call Tyrion. Really need him right now.
He says, normally I disagree wholeheartedly with anything Hervard has to say. However, I think he may be onto something. Perhaps you are the plaything of not just our gods, but some others' gods as well. What kind of deals have you been making in your life?
I did ask a question to Tyrion's gods. Of course, he was the one asking it in my stead, but I did ask them if I had their favor, basically.
Thorin will empty her tankard and go to refill it from the cask that sits on the table. Seemingly, with the amount that you've drunk, and just this sitting alone, it must be some endless supply of drink, or it would have been emptied many times over by now.
Yeah, the staff club ain't that bad. It's pretty good.
And yes, the liquid that comes out of it is unlike any ale you've ever tasted. It is probably best described as an ambrosia, a nectar, if you will. And she is filling her drink, she says, she's going to address you directly. She says, "Fuck the gods. Take your own path. Make your own decisions."
I have to say I don't wholeheartedly deny that. Kind of been there myself. I'm torn between the two, honestly. It feels like the gods haven't... Well, as you said, Grim, they have played with me. And I am getting sick of it.
And he says, "Well, I suppose we should try to deduce what exactly it is that they would want."
I tried to appease them when it seemed that they were not in my favor. That didn't go so well. Sure, my ritual was interrupted by these pesky dwarfs, but still I completed it. I prayed several times over, and still no real answer from them.
And would you give me a discern realities?
With intelligence?
Discern realities with wisdom, I think. All right, so you can ask 3 questions.
Who's really in control here?
So I think through the course of the conversation with them, I believe that you think that I think that is kind of what's up for debate here. Each one of your ancestors seem to have their own view of who's in control here. But I think ultimately it's you. You seem to be the one with all the choices. There are things that seem to be pulling you in certain directions, and I think it's kind of up to you to decide exactly what you want to do. I think is probably the revelation that you'll come through this conversation. Unbeknownst to you, unbeknownst to Harold, but us, the audience, know that even your resurrection is not necessarily entirely in your hands, because your friends are working towards that without your knowledge, you know. So, but you do seem to have some choices here to make, as far as like if you return and what you will do when you'll get back. You have 2 more questions.
What here is not what it appears to be.
So, so the lady with the lady who brought you here, the squirrel is familiar to you, and is a part of your your gods and your culture. However, she seems to be foreign. However, she seems to have made a very strong bond with this creature. I think it's at this moment you probably remember becoming anointed, and by the druids and the old gods, and there is something like it sort of flashes in your mind. There's something that when you were anointed and you reached out and you sort of touched the old gods momentarily, there's something familiar about her presence that you felt.
All right. Except for my ancestors, what here is useful or valuable to me?
Well, I think those are actually probably the most useful and valuable thing here. Each of them is a well of knowledge and experience, and I think if you capitalize that on that while you're here, it will help you guide your it'll help guide you when you return to life as far as what you hope to accomplish. So I would say perhaps this could be treated, or you could continue this as a planning phase with the expert knowledge of what they have to offer, or what one of them has to offer, if you choose to go a specific route. So.
All right.
All right, and with that, let's head back to the tower. So Aziz in Rhino form has has attempted to tame the Maelstrom. And
it's not going well.
No, it is not. So not only will you fail to tame the Maelstrom, you will you will intensify it. You will feed it, and so now it will. Not only does it grow stronger in force, but now it you can see like I suppose it's still somewhat dark outside because you guys came at night. So maybe you can see lightning peeling off overhead, crackling the sky. A heavy rain is going to begin to fall, and a torrent of wind from outside as well will start sort of slamming against the castle, the tower walls, and
That's probably not that bad.
but yes, but the wind tunnel still remains.
Is stronger now, you said?
Yes, stronger, yeah. I would say maybe impassable.
All right, and I'm gonna look at Zarthus. What do you suggest we do? Since you seem to be the
Yeah, I'm
plan.
gonna drop out of Rhino form because this requires discussion.
Zarthus looks kind of hopelessly back upstairs, and he says, "Well, I don't think we can go back the way we came. We can't move forward. We're stuck." And he says, "We could try to fight our way to the rooftops, but then." And he just kind of looks hopelessly at you guys. His sister is like he's pulling her close and holding her, and the bandits are kind of looking around, wondering what to do next. And he says, "I don't know." And
I have a question real quick.
okay.
Since I'm a little unfamiliar with, I kind of forgot how the wizard spells work.
Okay.
Can I prepare? Because I didn't get to, but am I able to use third level spells now or not?
Oh, did you level up?
Well, I'm at level 6 right now, but I don't know how many levels I am like wizard. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're level 5 wizard.
So I totally would be able to have a third level spell then.
Yeah, if it's within the rules. However,
yeah, I don't know how it works because I do have a dispel magic. If I can use a third level spell. I just don't know. Maybe after the game we can kind of discuss it. Like I just forget. It's been so long since I've actually like prepared spells.
Yeah. So you leveled up during last session, or
Yes.
right? So you wouldn't. So you have to spend an hour or so of uninterrupted time in quiet contemplation of your spell book, and then you can change your spells around. So if you could find the time to do that, that would be okay. But
Oh, so I can't. All right. Well,
it would just be a matter of
I
finding the
honestly,
time.
God, don't know. I don't know what we can do then. I mean, we're stuck. Like, I mean, unless we just
Can
want to
I-
wait until we get like killed, like we can't do anything then. Like,
Can I try for divine guidance? When I petition my deity according to the precept of my religion, I am granted some useful knowledge or boon related to my deity's domain. My deity is god of the downtrodden and forgotten, and believes in trial by combat. I think we've been trialing by combat pretty much throughout this tower, and if I hold up this severed head to Genric and say that we are trying to get these downtrodden people out, and we are basically between a force that we are willing to fight and an impassable tunnel of wind, and there seems to be no way out. And
Oh, there's a way out. There's a big old hole in the wall right there.
well, yeah, we'll be jettisoned and killed. And I am willing to shed blood and shed my own blood in defense of others, but throwing your life away is not the way of Janric.
And Duncan, remembering the conversation that you guys had before about that, he nods in affirmation. He steps up and he says, "I'll fight to the death with you, Tyrion."
If that's what it takes, then that's what we do, but we do not waste our lives. And so
I say we just eject ourselves out the wind tunnel. I mean, Zartha seems to have the right idea. What? It's just 2 stories. Come on now.
So you said divine intervention?
Yeah, or divine guidance.
Oh, divine
And
guidance.
so,
Gotcha.
Granted some useful knowledge or boon related to the domain, which is the downtrodden and forgotten, and personal victory, trial by combat, and
Okay. Yeah. So you'll offer up his head as your petition.
as proof of our deeds in his name.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So I think the thunder and lightning will crack. And go ahead and roll your. Is it a move or is it?
There's no die roll. It's just one of those. If I have been behaving like in extreme accordance with my faith, then I can get a boon. But it's one of those where, I have to have been really
okay.
Right,
gotcha.
Going all out.
Okay, yeah. So you'll use divine guidance, and the head will actually its eyes will tell me exactly what you want, just so I can answer appropriately.
Right, so I'm just asking Genric, what the way forward is, because I'm saying, I don't see it. Even if we march back up the stairs and kill as many of these guys as we can, there's too many of them, and happy to lay down my life as for the cause, but it's a waste if at least someone doesn't get out, and there's no one getting out that way, and there's no one getting out going through the wind tunnel. And we've come this far to bring Harold back to do what it is that we're supposed to do, this can't be what he wants. So tell us what he wants. Tell us the way forward.
And at that point, who's holding the sword?
You is shapeshifted, so I'm holding the sword as rear guard.
And the sword, whose fire has died out, will suddenly erupt in flame. And there's something particular about this flame that you notice, Tyrion. It is not like the normal flaming blade. It has a its yellows are more golden. Its reds are more crimson. It seems to be a sign from Janrik, telling you to use the blade. And and I think the sense that you'll get from that is that you can use this blade not for cutting down your foe, but for imposing the power that's already attributed to its wielder to your advantage.
Losing the power attributed to its wielder to your advantage.
Oh yeah. As in this blade was supposed to be something special. People believe it is something special, and if you wield it, you thereby become something special, and perhaps you can leverage that presence.
All right, so we're going back upstairs, people.
And so you guys, the rest of you, have just witnessed the flaming blade erupt into flame, and now Tyrion is telling you to go back upstairs. Zarthus will kind of look questioningly at everybody, like, is this guy out of his mind?
And I'm not even waiting for them to follow. I'm just like, I've got the head, I've got the sword. I'm just going up the stairs.
All right. So when you reach the top, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm right behind.
Okay. Rook and Harrison, what do you do?
Right behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow.
All right. And so when you reach the top of the stairs, you can see that the Crimson Blades have crawled through the window, buffeted by the storm, and that is brewing outside now. And they're having kind of a hard go of it, like because the wind has increased outside, and the lightning is striking, and they're all wet now and very unhappy. There's probably about 20 of them or so gathered in the room, and maybe coming down the steps from the part of the tower above. And it looks like they're organizing themselves to continue the march downstairs when you arrive through the door. They all turn and look at you, gripping their blades and preparing for combat. What do you do?
I hold Argoth's head out to them in my non-dominant hand and hold the sword aloft. I say, Argoth is dead. Aziz has made the passage below impossible to traverse with his power, and he has buffeted you with winds and rains as you climbed the walls. Drop your swords and kneel, and we will spare your lives. You know what the wielder of this sword is capable of. I am now that man. Do you really wish to be on the wrong side from me? And I'm just going to stand and glare at them as though 20-1 is nowhere near enough for them. And they can see the people all arrayed behind me, which, while still not as many, is just has to look as intimidating as fuck.
Especially since I'm just casually standing there like this is no big deal.
Okay, so I'm disclaiming decision making. Does this call for a roll, do you think?
Like a parlay.
And could it be like an intimidate?
or just at all? Does this call for a roll at all, do you think? Or was that sufficiently badass enough to...
It was
holding the head of
inspired by the gods, and it was a pretty moving speech. I think that might clinch it for at least this group.
I'm holding the head of the guy that makes all of them shit in their pants.
Yeah, I think fictionally this is pretty good. So I think at this point you at least have their attention. They are going to one will step forward and say the sword has chosen you. Look, its light glows.
I'm not even gonna like, acknowledge with any words. I'm just going to clench it a little bit tighter and maybe angle it slightly toward him.
He says, what do you want?
Stefan has lost the favor of the gods. You do not have to follow us, but you would be wise to abandon him. Milton is a good man. Stay here and defend this place with him. If you do not wish to rise up against Stefan, do not throw your lives away, but do not cross us either.
We can't leave the storm.
The storm will die when it is right.
And until then?
Until then, sit tight. No harm will befall you.
And as you're speaking, bandits are filling the room as well. And I believe this guy is going to kind of look around, and he's going to he's not going to like drop his blade, but he's going to drop his hand a little bit, and I think the others will do the same. And he'll say we'll fall back to the room for now. If you come for us, though, we will fight to the last of our lives.
There need be no more blood shed today.
At least until the storm is done.
But heed my warning, do not return to Stefan's service, or the blade will find you.
Your blade, Stefan's blade. What difference does it make?
Oh, I will take care of Stefan. He and I have a reckoning. I have known him far longer than you have. And he has underestimated me too many times. Our story will have an end.
Somebody else will say, who will fight the orcs then? Who will protect us?
We will. The bandits will. Harold will.
And he says, Harold's dead. He died at the
Is
arena.
he?
I saw him get cut down
Are you
myself.
And do you doubt my power? That he is still dead?
Well, I don't see him.
And what will you do when you do see him return? Will you still doubt then?
And at this he doesn't say anything. He just. And then they will begin to fall back into the upstairs chamber. He will the one that spoke with you will be the last to leave, and he says he's going to give you a long hard look, as if he's thinking about something life changing, and as if he's considering betraying the very man who he serves, and he'll be the last one through, and he'll close the door.
Nice.
So you've bought yourself some time.
Quick, barricade the door. Yeah.
So you've bought yourself some time. I would say it's enough time for and this storm threatens to rage on for a moment. I'd say it's enough time to rest, to maybe even make camp of a sorts. And definitely enough time to like commune and change your spells and all that stuff too.
Standing.
So,
I was just about out of spells. I had like, with all the fails that we had rolled, I have given up so many spells at this point.
and let's switch back over to Harold real quick while you guys are taking care of all that. So Harold, yeah, where were we?
I believe I just studied on the discern realities and asked my questions.
Right, yeah, okay.
I'm going to assume that they are going to talk for a while longer, and Harold's going to basically be staring down at his cup. And after, like, I don't know how much time has passed, he just downs it, like takes the keg and just starts pouring it down his throat.
And Thorin says, slaps Grimm's shoulder, and she says, "Ha! He's closer to my lineage. That's the proof of it there." And Grimm says, "Remains to be seen. Let's see how he handles it." And Hirovard says, "He'll handle it the same we all do, with a price, of course."
I slammed the keg down onto the table, and I just started laughing maniacally. I'm sitting here with 3 of the greatest people in our lineage, and you tell me to choose one way of life? One path? I'm going to use all of you to better myself, to perfect every way that you have lived, to be greater than all of you, and I will achieve what I need to achieve.
Grimm looks dubious. Thorin is trying to like make sense of it. And Hirovard says, is the only one who speaks, and he says, well, as I said, it's all out of your hands. So if this is what the gods want, then who am I to say otherwise?
Perhaps it is what both me and the gods want. But I'm sitting here with 3 of the most knowledgeable people in very different areas of expertise. And I have all the time in the world while I'm here, dead. So let's start talking. Give me all that you have accumulated over your years.
And so let's let's see. What does Harold want to do when he gets back? Like what are Harold's goals, I guess?
First goal would be of course, get back to his friends, and literally after that, just start picking down the warlords, gather up their armies, and finally take down the tyrant.
Okay. So basically, Hirovard will be able to advise you in how to deal with the gods, essentially. Grim will be able to advise you on how to obtain political control and then maintain it. And Thorun will be able to will probably be the most helpful in leading an army or though she seems to be tactically, like militarily tactically very wise. So I do want to talk about, like, or do I want to squirrel this away and use it as a resource for later? Yeah, so let's talk about anything we need to talk about now, as far as like what you want to plan for Harold and like what you want to do when you get back, and then like any specifics that you want to get some insight on, and then we will squirrel this away. Maybe we'll make a custom move out of it, like consulting the ancestors essentially, and where you can call on their advice like when the situation requires it. Because I think it'll be hard. This game changes so much. I think it'll be difficult to encapsulate everything that we need to encapsulate within this conversation.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. That'll be fun for me too. I like dabbling in custom moves. So Heravard will be like, you know, you gotta, you can't cross the gods. If you don't have the gods' favors, you don't have anything. So the first thing you need to do is make yourself right with the gods. Grim is going to tell you that taking power is one thing. Holding it and governing is an entirely different game. And if you seek to rally the forces of the land you're currently in and fight the Tyrant Queen, then you're going to need to do that on a scale that is unprecedented. So it's a pretty big ambition. And Thorun will say that she can help you win the wars that are at hand with the warlords. These are kind of her people. So, well, maybe not the triumvirate. They're a little bit more political. But yeah, so she can help you with that stuff. Yeah, I guess there's not really much to discuss there. I think we can just scroll this away as a resource, unless you have anything you wanted to add.
Yeah, no, I think like the only answer of like how I would appease the gods or like show proof that I will do this is making either the warlords' heads roll or they'll be subservient to me and my friends.
Right, and Thorun will say, if you kill them, you prove to their underlings that you are more powerful and that you deserve to take their place. It's the only thing they respond to. And Grim says, but if you make them allies, they will take that much more responsibility off your plate. Overthrow them, but make them lords. Make them rely on you, and you on them. Build a relationship of trust. Yes, they will try to stab you in the back, but you, but the good will but they'll be more useful that way than dead. And Thorun disagrees with him, of course. She thinks that killing them and taking control of their army is the best way to go.
I think I'll like just lightly punch Thorin in the shoulder. Like I will kick the shit out of them. Maybe I won't kill them, but I will definitely kick the absolute shit out of them.
And she laughs. She says, more likely you'll get the shit kicked out of you. And she'll look at your she'll draw attention to your scars from the flame blade that struck you.
Yeah, kind of need kind of want a weapon of that, like of my own.
And trying to think if there's really anything else worth discussing. Is there anything else worth discussing?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, and I'll try to come up with a custom move that we can rely on, that we can use to sort of rely on that connection. How's preparations at the tower going?
Well, if we are making camp, I have a move that can heal 1d6 to everybody in the group.
Nice. While you do that, I'm gonna be listening, but I'm going to go refresh my beverage.
So 3 to everybody. Tyrion, are you still wounded? Because I have something for
Nope.
that if you need it.
That brings me back up to full. Thank you very much. I was pretty close before that, so we're good.
Okay, and I think we should make a plan to make a break for it as soon as the storm starts lightening up.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure most of the Crimson Blades have taken cover during this.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, they brought us lots of ropes and stuff.
They did. So we can just kind of rappel down as soon as the storm lightens up.
Although I had an idea, somebody mentioned a zip line. Maybe I could get the other end of the rope to another building.
Or maybe an invisible Harrison could.
That is also a possibility.
Yes. I just, yes. Just throw me the rope. You can't see where I am, though.
I also do still have one advanced move left that before I commune, which could prove very useful, which is I can spend that move when myself or an ally take damage. I call on the deity, and they intervene with an appropriate manifestation and negate the damage, which means somebody could just jump out the window, plummet to the ground, and then negate all of the fall damage, since it's a single source of damage, and just go. And I'm like, just be like, nope, divine intervention.
Nope.
It'll be like a weird gust of wind just before they hit the ground, deposits them gently.
Are we not done playing with gusts of wind?
We might not be. We're just like, we're thinking of different entertaining ways we can. It would be really hard to shoot at a person that is just plummeting to their doom. That'd be a really fast-moving target. And then if they just like, instead of hitting the ground and like instantly dying, if they're like, whoop, bing, I think that might freak some people out. And then you see the weird guy with the flaming sword in the window going, I told you not to mess with me!
All right, so so you have some downtime. So that's how you're spending your downtime. You're communing and divine intervening and whatnot.
We're preparing, but yeah, probably keeping somebody up for watch, and shifting that every couple of hours or every hour or so.
Yeah,
just
you guys
to make sure.
You guys basically don't have to worry about that since you've got the bandits there.
Making sure that nobody is breaking their end of the deal.
Now, How is Harrison spending that time preparing? Did you look at your spell, or did you figure that out?
No, I don't. All it tells me is like it just says. Let me look here. Lose any spells you already prepared. Prepare new spells chosen from your spellbook whose total levels don't exceed your own +1. So if I'm level 5 wizard, it couldn't be above 6 level 6 spells.
Or a total of 6 levels of spells is how it works.
Right.
So like,
So like 6 level 1s or 4 1s and a 2.
Okay, I get it.
so I have a 3 and 3 1s, but I also have 2 spells that are considered freebies. I get Magic Missile because, oh no, I have. I'm sorry, I don't get that one as a freebie. That's right. I can use Magic Missile, so I have a third and 3 level 1s, but Cure Wounds is not considered a spell. It's considered a rote for me because of one of the moves that I took when I leveled up. So it looks like I have 4 level 1s, but I really only have 3 because of Cure Light Wounds. So you should check to see if any of your moves gives you something like that, where a spell doesn't count like it normally would.
I don't think so. You start out with 3 first level spells, as well as all your cantrips. Whenever you gain a level, you inscribe a new spell of your level or lower. So does that mean I would get 2 more freebies then?
When it says you start out with, does that just mean start out within your spell book, or start out?
You have mastered several spells and inscribed them in your spellbook. You start out with 3 first, so I guess it comes with with the spellbook, as well as all your cantrips.
Oh, right, yeah. So you start off with like a certain number of spells, and then as you level up, you get to choose more spells. But
I think it says 1 spell per level.
yeah, but preparing those spells is what you do when you oh yeah, it's called prepare spells. Yeah. So learning them, you can learn them like 1 level at a time. It has to be like your level or lower, I think, and then you prepare them. Then you can only use the ones that you've prepared.
So I could still only do like 6, basically. Like I have to do it 2-6.
Prepare or just no?
Prepare, because I mean I already have a ton. I know they're just already sitting here.
Oh yeah, that was probably my fault. I put them in just because yeah, just so that you'd have them at your access. I'm not quite sure which ones you actually know. Maybe you can mark those with like by editing the title and just like with just known, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I might need to do that after the stream because I'm a little confused.
Yeah, that's fine. I can run with it. Is there anything on this list that you particularly like is drawing your eye or?
Well, Dispel Magic was, but now I guess we don't really need it, so...
Well, you could still use it to dampen the wind tunnel. If you were trying to get downstairs to where to the tunnel.
Yeah, but I thought I thought the plan was we're not doing that now.
Yeah. If that's the plan, then you don't need it now. So.
And there's a lot of soldiers, so sleep really isn't going to do anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Fireball.
Fireball, exactly.
Always fireball.
There's always fireball.
I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast Fireball.
Okay, so yeah.
I mean, unless you guys want me to get Dispel Magic, I can try, but I don't know if you want to change the plan for like the 18th time. Like,
I mean, Dispel Magic is, to me, what level is that?
it's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah, Dispel Magic to me is never a bad thing. Because, I mean, especially with what's his butt out there. Who knows what he's going to
Yeah,
throw
we
at
do
us.
still have a wizard out there.
That's true.
Old Fenric.
Fenric, yeah, undoing his crowd would probably be very satisfying because he would like do a thing and then you'd be like, "Hey, Fenric, nope."
But I don't know if the tunnels are such a good idea anymore. Because if it's
Yeah.
that spider from the city, that thing was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
And like I said, hopefully this storm driven most of the Crimson Blade inside. So hopefully we can
Yep.
find a quick way down. We can get the hell out of here.
Exactly. I mean, I could try for the guidance thing, but I feel like we were already kind of given the divine guidance where we were told, hey, you've got this sword that basically makes people think you're special, even though it's just a magic sword. So use that and be confident. So I feel like we should probably just keep following that path and not try to go toe to toe with the scary abomination.
Okay. So, so I'll say that you'll probably spend a couple days in the tower before the storm subsides.
Okay.
When it does start to let up, it is probably mid morning on the 3rd day, and the looking out the window, probably for the past 3 days, you've only been able to see maybe 10 feet out into the rain. It's been raining so hard, and now that the rain has subsided a little bit, you can see that there are just these huge puddles of water all over the town. The town is basically partially flooded at this point, and a small, unimposing moat has fashioned itself around the tower, and yeah, it's turned into a wetland.
One of the days while we're waiting, I'm gonna look over at Aziz and give him an approving nod. Like, I'm impressed.
You should see it when it works.
So yeah. So what will you do? The rains have subsided.
All right, I think we should use the zipline idea. Tie off up here. I'll go down and be the anchor, and you guys just glide on down. A lot of soft water and mud to cushion the blow.
I'll bring up the rear. Anyone decides when they see us moving that it's a good time to make a move.
Okay.
Well, hopefully with all this water and such, it'll take them a minute to do anything.
Okay. So you will fly down with some rope.
Or they can lower me, whichever. And
Okay.
I can go elephant form and pull the rope taut. Which I would have grabbed every piece of rope we could off the grappling hooks or whatever they use to climb up.
Yeah.
Okay. As you begin putting this plan into motion, you start lowering him or whatever over the course of the couple of days that you've been stuck here. How have you been how have you been eating? You guys have rations, right?
I think I still have
I-
some.
I have 5 uses of rations.
All right, make sure you mark off 2 of those.
All right.
And yeah, so you've been able to eat, and
Oops.
would you have
Would that be considered?
go ahead.
Would that be considered mundane items? Would it be would it be an adventuring gear?
Dungeon rations? No, it should be its own thing.
Okay.
I accidentally deleted all of them.
Oh no.
That's all right. We'll say that I don't know. Did the bandits have their own rations? If not, we'll say that I shared mine out, rather than trying to figure out how to undo it.
Okay. Oh, you'll share yours with the bandits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the party. I'll make sure that
Does anybody share any with the Crimson Blades that are hanging out next door?
I would.
Okay.
If we had enough, if we could scavenge together enough food, I would absolutely bring them food.
Okay. What about the rest of you? Aziz, I know you don't eat.
I guess I licked mold off the wall. I don't know.
Oh, do you not have any rations?
No.
I share with you. Come on, man. We'll figure out. We got to figure out a way to kind of gather up food. There's got to be supplies in here, in some of the rooms up here.
If you converse with anyone, they'll have told you that the most of the supplies is down at the bottom level of the tower. It's quite sparse up here. But if you make that gesture to give some food to the Crimson Blades, even if it's not much, that will have earned you a little bit of goodwill with them. So while you're lowering Aziz down to the bottom of the tower here, the door from upstairs will open, and the Crimson Blade, whose name is Tormund, will step out, and he's the one who was talking to you a couple days ago. He will say, "Ah, you're making a break for it. I should have known."
Wouldn't say making a break for it so much as going down to talk to Milton and squaring away the defense of what remains of this settlement.
And he gives you a curt nod, and he says, "I'll hold off my men."
Thank you.
And he
I
said,
would recommend that. Oh, go ahead.
"Okay, sorry, go ahead."
I would recommend that you check in with him and join in the defense of this place, but I understand if you feel you can't.
And he says, "The world's been turned upside down. The orcs on the horizon." He says, If I don't fight with someone, if we don't fight together, we die alone.
Exactly.
And he says, I don't suppose you'd consider becoming a Crimson Blade.
I was given that offer some time ago by your leader, and the way he treated those he deemed less than was the reason I said no. As long as he is at the head, I will never be one of the Blades. But when I return with Harold, perhaps we can have a different conversation.
And he'll nod, and he'll actually extend a hand to shake your hand.
And I will extend mine back.
Okay. Okay. So, Aziz, you are on the ground. You're going to turn into an elephant and begin the march.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and do your elephant thing. Harrison and Rook, what are you doing? Oh, nice.
I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to zip line down.
Harrison? Have you been keeping spirits high?
Yeah, sure. I've been playing some music.
Another song for Zathras?
This one is called "We're Stuck in a Tower and We Can't Get Out."
Okay. And so Aziz, you go down, you begin making your way away from the tower. When you go down, you're actually gonna like submerge a little bit, and then I guess you'll come out of the water as an elephant.
Yep.
Because there is quite a lot of water in the town. It is like it is quite flooded and quite saturated, if you will. And as you start marching away, you can feel your heavy. Oh shoot, the dog's going crazy. You can feel your heavy feet in the mud, and as you trudge past, I think the villagers will be the first to come out and sort of look at you, and then slowly the Crimson Blades will rouse to their posts as well. What are you guys doing up in the tower, or what are you doing, Aziz, on the ground, in response to the attention that you're getting?
Can't really stop, so I'm just gonna proceed. But basically, I'm kind of positioning myself, like so the rope goes over my opposite shoulder, so when they slide down, they basically land right near my back.
Okay.
So they can either drop down or hop up, their choice.
Okay. And what are you guys doing up top?
Make sure that people know on their way down to keep their weapons sheathed and that we have a truce for the moment.
Okay. Who's first down?
I'm bringing up the rear.
Okay. So as the bandits and stuff are ziplining down, the Crimson Blades are gathering around the elephant. They have their weapons drawn. The one that was giving orders a couple of days ago will step forward and say to I guess to Zarthus, who would have gone down before you. He says, "Ha! So you surrender then?" And Zarthus says, with his hand on his hilt, sort of drawing his blade, he says, "Not until death." And he The Crimson Blade says, well, we can arrange that just as well. And at that point, Tyrion, you would have come down, or the rest of you would have come down. So if you wanted to do anything before this escalates further.
And has assured me he would keep his men back as a gesture of good faith. And I'll draw the sword, and
Okay.
I'll let it light up, and I'll say, there is no more need for bloodshed today. The man who ruled you all through fear and intimidation is dead. His head rides at my belt. His sword has chosen me as its new master. If you wish to add yourselves to his number, then by all means keep your swords drawn. I have treated Tormund and his men fairly. They are all still alive and well and have been fed. At least as much meager amount as we could spare among ourselves. Do we fight among ourselves and kill each other, or do we prepare for the oncoming orcs? My friends and I are... Go ahead.
He says, funny you should mention. We've received word from Stefan with what to do with you and the bandits.
I see. And do you plan to listen to the coward who sent you to die while he hid safely away, as he always does?
He marches towards the front lines to take on the orcs himself. And you waste time and our resources here on your pointless battles. Stefan has issued one command. A choice. Either join our ranks, he turns to the bandits. Either the bandits join our ranks, or they die here and cause us no more trouble. We have the men, we can outlast you, flaming sword or not.
Oh, you think? I have divine power on my side. You have a charlatan that creates twisted, misshapen abominations. You had an unhinged monster that preyed upon the unsuspecting, that ambushed and abused. I stand here to defend the people of this village. You subjugate them in the name of fighting the orcs. What will be left? Which do you think they prefer?
Stefan has guaranteed your release. He says I am to let you and your companions go. It's the bandits that must either join us or die.
Well, the bandits are coming with me.
And so he seems to be standing firm.
I'm gonna walk up to him,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have him put his sword right against my chest.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say to him, "Run me through if you think that you are more powerful than Janrik."
And what are you what are you ultimately trying to get from this?
I want him to stab me, and I'm going to use divine intervention to negate the damage, and then have everybody see him basically impale me and have it do nothing. And then I'm hoping that and the flaming sword will basically scare everybody, into, holy shit, what are we going to do against that? It's just basically a crazy gambit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll parlay.
Can I do like an intimidate using strength instead, since my charisma is shit?
I think
a defy danger using charisma or something? I mean, or using strength.
I mean, I would allow someone to aid you in this if, but I think it'll have to be charisma.
Let
Because
me do
you're
an
talking a
arcane
big
art.
game.
Okay.
Let me do an arcane art so he gets a +2, hopefully.
Okay.
Instead of +1.
Art me, Harrison.
Yeah, and very nice.
All right, so whoever aids him, he'll get a +2 instead of a +1, unless you want me to aid you.
And
Yeah, I think you should probably aid because you're the best at.
But first, narrate to me how you weave a performance into a basic spell. While he's talking.
Why can't we all just get along?
Actually, anyone can aid, right? Because aid is just based on bonds.
Correct. Yes. So you're singing. Why can't we be friends?
Yeah. Why can't we be friends? Copyright.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you'll sing. And then offer a +2 to someone who aids. Did somebody else want to aid?
I can try to look menacing as an elephant.
Turn into an ostrich and look menacing. Use those beady little eyes.
They still got guys coming down from this. No, I'm just kidding. I think everybody's down.
So just looms.
Yeah, if you want to sort of be intimidating, like to just try to help him out.
Well, just as Tyrion steps forward, like I'm like right behind him, like every step he makes. I'm like with bandits on my back, just glaring right over Tyrion's head at this guy.
All right, so go ahead and roll aid. With plus your bonds.
And if that succeeds, I get a +2 instead of a +1.
Okay, so all right, cool. So
I guess I'm exposing myself to danger.
And you get a +2, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll get to the danger here in a second.
All right, so here comes the big parlay.
Ooh.
Hey.
I rolled a 12 without the +2.
Very nice.
So it's an 11 because of my charisma, then makes a 13.
Woohoo!
Okay. And so he is going to say, he's going to whisper to you, Tyrion. He says, perhaps we should finish this discussion in private.
That's a very good idea.
I cannot appear weak.
I understand.
And he says, he calls out to his men. He says, escort the bandits to the edge of the town, and his companions. You come with me, and he points to Tyrion. And then he says, take that elephant back to the stables. And they'll start coming up.
Well.
They'll start coming up to take the elephant back to the stables. There's your cost, sir. And
Not
the cake.
again.
Not the circus again.
I'm not really going to resist at this point.
so the soldiers will begin to escort everybody to the edge of the woods or to the edge of the town. He'll pull you into he'll pull you into the town. Now it's super flooded. There's you can hear people being like, oh god, like the whole cellar's flooded, like my whole everything I had saved up is like rotted, like water rotted now. Like all the barley's gone. Like, so people are like lamenting the fact that like their stores have been spoiled by the water. as you're moving through the town, you hear this, and he's going to take you to Milton's house. And as he takes you inside Milton's house, he's going to Milton will open the door, and he shakes hands with the man, and looks you up and down, Tyrion, and says, "I should have figured it would have been you."
I'm recruiting for you, but
Now the rest of you going back to the edge of Aziz, you're going to the stables. They'll lead you there gently and give you some I guess all the hay is all wet and shit, so they don't really have anything to give you, but they'll sort of fence you in. It's this really measly looking fence too. It's it's obviously been built for horses, but like they don't have anywhere else to put you, so. Rook and Harrison, they take Tyrion off. They take Aziz off into a different direction, and then they begin to escort you and the bandits to the edge of the town. What do you do?
How safe do we feel?
Fairly safe, I think.
I go along with it, but very cautiously.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ask them if they heard of my songs.
Yeah, you got some fans.
Drop a coin to your herald. I'll sing that one on the way out.
Yeah, I just remain silent and go along with it.
Okay. Tyrion, once inside Milton's house, he says, "I'd offer you a drink, but you'd have to swim to get it."
in that kind of week.
And he says, "I see you've met Melandro."
Yes. Apologies for the confrontation, Melandro.
And Melandro says, "He did it. He killed the bastard." And Milton says, "Ah, you killed Argoth."
Yes, we did.
And there's a small celebration, and Melandro says he's going to turn to you, and he says, "What can we do to help you?"
Now, protect your people. I've tried to convince Tormund to fall in with you, and that he and the blades that are with him should stay here and rebuild and protect this place, and not to go and throw themselves at the orcs, to wait. I don't know whether or not he'll listen, but I am coming back, and I'm bringing Harold. I know everyone believes him dead, but he will return.
He says Stefan is heading towards the pass with Gaspard. They seek to cut the orcs off and rally their forces for a grand stand against them. If they fail there's no hope for us.
Then perhaps we should plan to reinforce them. But truthfully, when have you known Stefan to put himself in harm's way? Truly in harm's way?
Not often, but he has many men who will follow him to the end of the world.
True. And then if it goes badly, he will be in a position to slip out the back and forsake whoever is left behind.
Milton cuts in. He says, "Damn it, Tyrion, this is not about personal valor. It's about the survival of the realm. We can deal
I
with
know it's
we
about
can
the survival.
we can deal with Stefan after we've defeated the orcs.
I'm not concerned about Stefan or valor or glory. I'm concerned about his cavalier attitude and how he will handle and look out for the people under his command. Will he spend their lives wisely, or will he spend them to spend them?
And Melandra will say it appears that he will spend them making one great stand against the orcs. As I said, if they fail there, then there's little hope for the rest of us.
And we'd best hurry and get Harold and see if we can get Dromir and some of the other heads to throw in with a smarter plan, because throwing all the forces at the past as a last ditch smacks of desperation and not strategy.
And he says, I don't know where you're getting your man from, this Harold, but Milton said he might be fit to lead us.
He is. He is the best of us. He's on a journey right now, a journey that the living and the mortal cannot take. He had to cross over to learn what he needed to learn so he can come back and be ready. I know that sounds like religious, mystical nonsense, but you've seen what I've done so far, what we've all done so far, so...
And he says, well, it better work, or else my head will be on the spike right next to yours. And
As you said.
he says, and just for full disclosure, the only reason I'm putting my faith in you is because Milton has vouched for you. And his head will be on the spike 3 spikes down, right after his daughter and his sons. So this better work.
I don't think we'll be on spikes. I don't think that's the orcs' way. I think we'll be in their bellies, but your meaning is well taken. If we fall, we all fall. But I don't believe we will.
And as we wrap up, we'll look back in on Harold just one more time. The woman has returned. Well, actually, so first while you guys are chatting at the table, the squirrel, like an acorn will roll across the table, like down from one end, and you'll see the squirrel reappear at the end of the table. In the mist behind the squirrel, the lady will appear, and she says, "Your time draws near, Harold."
I think I'm ready.
And I will show you what we must do.
Lead the way.
And so the squirrel will jump back up on her shoulder, and she'll begin to walk back into the mist. The acorn is lying on the table.
I pick it up and I follow.
Before you leave, Grim says, Harold,
Yes?
don't be a stranger. Call on us when you need us.
I will. Thank you, all of you.
And oops. Yeah, so Hervard will douse you with some putrid liquid, and say a prayer, and Thorin will sock you really hard in the chest, and send you reeling back, grab you by your beard, and pull you back into a hug, and she says, "Be strong, Harold. Show no fear."
I will try and have your strength. Yep.
Show no fear.
Right.
And you may follow the lady into the mist if you like.
Before I turn and follow her, I say to them all, in some years, let's all meet up again. It's good talking to you.
And Grim says, well, for your sake, hopefully not too soon.
Believe me, I'm not counting on it.
Famous last words.
And then, and I guess that's where we'll end the session tonight. So,
I think I saw Level 1 Geek was also streaming.
Oh, cool. Well, let's go say hey to them. So I'll set up the raid. Again, thank you so much for everybody who stuck around and hung out. You are, just as a reminder, you are earning points as you are watching, and you can come spend those points at our Dungeon Crawler game next Wednesday. Same time, same place. If you really liked tonight's game, and this is the first one you've checked in on, go check out our YouTube. You can find the link in the chat. I think Forkpuff will be posting it shortly. Go check out our YouTube. You can find all of the games that we've played previously there. You can catch up on what's going on. Other than that, check out dndwow.com. If you want to buy some metal color changing dice, you can use our code theactionsturge at checkout and get 10% off. It's a great deal. And really quick, Plaster Dragon, you have a stream. Would you like to rep that out real quick before we go to the raid?
We're going to do that. Twitch.tv/plasterdragon. We are a charity stream for Extra Life. D&D on Mondays, and then random other stuff throughout the week. And then you can catch John every third Saturday of the month playing some superheroes with us.
Yes.
So hope to see y'all. That's right.
Awesome.
We've added a speedster.
Yes, which I missed.
And yes, as did I. I misaligned my weeks because of the 5-Saturday month and the rescheduling, and so it was just Josh and Hellspawn that week. And of course, neither of them had silver, and they found the shapeshifter. So
nice.
So they stopped right before the fight, so we're basically going to jump in and have to bail their asses out.
Oh, good. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Mortcake for being here as well, and of course the regular Action Sturge crew. And we'll see you guys back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go say hey to Level 1 Geek.
Weird.